To have you in our newsroom. Now, the British Prime Minister was in Israel yesterday. How significant was Rishi Sunak's visit to Israel in terms of its implications for British foreign policy and its international image?
Well, the British don't have the role that they used to have. I think it's absolutely overrated. I think this is more like something similar to all those politicians that went to see Zelensky. It's just the new cool things to do to show that there is a support to undefectible support to the Zionist regime.
Now, how do you assess the international response to the recent events in Gaza, particularly in terms of humanitarian concerns for Palestinian children?
Well, it depends on your definition of international response. When you listen to Western media, they will call it the international community, but this is defined by only 15% of the actual community. If you look at 85% of the rest of the world, they are trying to get help to Gaza. They are supporting the Palestinian people, and we can see clearly here a clash of civilization, where you have basically this plight, what is going on in Palestine, as being the fight of the global South, and it's a remains of this neo-colonialism, a plague that is in the region, a plague that was put there by the British Empire very early on. And again, it was done to destabilize the Arab world. The Arab world was about to become extremely powerful because there was oil, and there was something that was very unique. They had a common language. It was to become a very large superpower. And what happens is that the Jews here were just used. In reality, that is a tool that is still being used now to destabilize the whole region.
How has the international community, particularly the United States and the European Union, contributed to the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
Well, it's undefectible. I think what is happening, this pawn, because Israel is a pawn for the U.S. Global hegemony plan, this globalist agenda. They have no choice but to go ahead and go along this plan to destabilize the whole region. It's absolutely completely biased. You see, there's a huge hypocrisy. For example, you had Putin when it comes to Ukraine. He actually took kids outside of the war zone to protect the kids. And he was put in front of the ICC. They want actually to charge Putin. Now you have the Zionist regime, which is killing unarmed civilians, kids, children, by the hundreds. And the Western community is saying absolutely nothing. This is one of the biggest crimes against humanity, and the Western community is staying silent. The Western media are staying silent. The population, the Western population, that is something very different, but we are also being silenced. Silenced on the media, and very soon this anti-Zionism will be assimilated to anti-Semitism, and it will become illegal to support Palestine.
Now, Western media blew up when fake news started spreading that Hamas has beheaded Israeli babies, which was, of course, a lie. But now when Palestinian children are being murdered on a daily basis, the West does not even bat an eye. What lessons can be learned from past conflicts when it comes to responding to disinformation campaigns and allegations of atrocities?
But how many times have we been lied to? The weapons of mass destruction, the incubators. We were lied. We were told that in Libya, the soldiers would rape women and they would take Viagra. They did try the same in Ukraine, saying that Russians were taking Viagra and raping women. How many times? The Bucha massacre in Ukraine, the gassing of civilians in Syria. How many times have we been lied to? 9/11, inside a job. The problem is that they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We have the problem in the collective West is that people are getting brainwashed, and what we used to call the press, there is a new name. Excuse me my language, but we call them prostitutes, because they have the journalists have sold their soul, and especially when you look at what is at stake now, this is the highest responsibility to inform people. So we don't have the precondition of democracy. It's information, the right to information and correct information. This is pure. Western media have become a joke, a pure joke.
In your opinion, what steps should be taken by the international community and world leaders to work towards a lasting solution and peace in the region?
That is a very difficult question. There are different ways. Some people, they say that this is a struggle that should be dealt by arms, but I do think personally there is an opportunity. What was started with the Abraham Accords to integrate Israel in the region, maybe that was a step. That could be a beginning. Because you see, the Zionist concept works only if you have a nation that feels threatened and you can justify to be a police state, an apartheid state. But once you have all your neighbors that are at peace with you, then you are going to be more dependent also on the region, and you will have more pressure to solve your internal problems, and you will have less reasons to follow this racist apartheid project, which is not viable. It is absolutely impossible. It doesn't make any sense. But keep in mind, even though I do not like this Zionist project, but I do think that actually ultimately the victims are also Jews as much as Palestinians. They are a victim of a project which they are being used for imperialistic and a globalist agenda. So they are the first victims. Why would you want to have a role of someone who's actually what we call a capo? You know who are the capo? The capo were the ones that were outside the prison. And we have inverted the roles. The ones that said they suffered during the Holocaust are actually now the capos, having the jail of the largest open-air prison in the world.